Hello and good morning and good afternoon. This is Donna Carroll, and I want to welcome you to my YouTube channel and my live streaming. I'm happy that you're here, and I'm happy to be here, so thank you for tuning in. Um, so, just a short little summary about my week. I had a really strange week in that I was so exhausted for about a week, just exhausted, tired, not mentally tired so much, more like sleepy, like I was Dorothy in the Wizard of Oz and just went to that field of poppies and just fell on the ground and fell asleep. And I had all of these great plans to design my website and do this work and do that work, and I couldn't do anything. The energy overtook me, and I had to sleep. And I was sleeping like 12 or 14 hours a day. So I'm just curious if that happened to any of you. But the 22nd was the sleepiest day, and then the 23rd was another sleepy day, and then I realized after it was over, and today is the first day that I felt normal in like a week, I realized that the 22nd was the ending of a cycle for me, because if you add up 1/22/2019, and I think this applies to everyone, that adds up to 9, and then if you add up the next day, which is the 23rd, that's 1/23/2020, that breaks down to 1. So we've ended a cycle on the 22nd, and we started a new cycle on the 23rd. And this is a much higher, lighter, more beautiful time that we've come into. And a lot of the old energy in that old cycle had to do with our dysfunctions, our emotional dysfunctions, our habits, and things that weren't necessarily good for us they've been cleared out, closed, and shut down. And I know this is true because when I think about something that used to annoy me, like, I don't get that charge anymore. So there's been a huge emotional clearing, and that's why I was sleeping all the time. So if you've been sleeping a lot, and I know different energies affect different people, and people tune into different portals and different timelines. But if you've had a major energy shift over the last week, you're not alone. And if you've been sleeping a lot, you're not alone. It's basically a cleanse to get to a higher timeline and into a new cycle where you can expand your consciousness and just bring more light, more joy, more happiness into your life. So, and I wish that for all of you. So today I went to meditation, and I do a practice called Sahaj Marg. Actually, now it's called Heartfulness. It's more westernized to make it more, it's got the English name now. But anyhow, it's basically an Indian practice, and it's been around since 1945, formally. Okay, so my practice, Sahaj Marg, is having a huge celebration this weekend, or I should say not this weekend, but starting on the 28th and moving to February 9th. And they're having a huge celebration inaugurating the biggest ashram in their history in Hyderabad, India. And Hyderabad is considered the crown jewel, the crown gem of this practice. And this meditation hall, I saw pictures of it online. It looks like a big egg, and then there's little eggs around it. But it's the largest meditation hall in the world, period. And it can house up to 50,000 people meditating there at one time. So it's huge, thousands of acres. And it's a big event, and many people in my practice are going there from all over the world for the inauguration. So I just wanted to congratulate the guru of Sahaj Marg and all of the Abhyasis who are meditating with the practice. I just want to wish them a successful inauguration and a very, very deep, dense loving meditation. When you meditate with that many people, the most people I've ever meditated with is 10,000, which was phenomenal. I mean, when you meditate with a few hundred people, it's phenomenal. When you bring that many souls together in a common cause and they have a common thought, is very, very powerful. So I can just imagine, 50,000 people meditating there, how like the wave of energy that it would send out across the universe. Also, this ashram is being dedicated, it's actually a meditation hall, is being dedicated to the Adi Guru, and Adi Guru means founding guru of heartfulness or Sahaj Marg, and his name was Lalaji, and he lived in Fardaka, India, back in the 1800s, and he is the guru that brought back Pranahuti. Pranahuti was used by the ancient Indian rishis or seers, and basically what that means is there's an energetic transmission from the heart of the guru to the heart of the seeker. And so the energy does not have to be given in physical presence. In other words, you don't have to be in the physical presence of the guru to receive the pranahuti, but of course it helps. But if you take in the transmission, the yogic transmission from the guru, what that means is that your spiritual evolution can and will happen much, much faster, because what happens in a guru-disciple relationship is the guru hopefully is in the enlightened state, and when that guru transmits to you, he cleanses you, and all of your sanskaras, meaning your habits and your impressions, dissipate, dissolve when you receive that pranahuti. So you become much lighter, much cleaner, and much finer. Gurus get a bad rap, especially in the United States, because I think that the relationship is misunderstood, and also because there have been some mid-level gurus out there doing some shady things. But if you find a guru of caliber, you're going to make so much progress so much faster than if you were meditating on your own. And all you have to do is pray, if you want a guru, to get that guide in your life. Hi, Marie. Nice to see you. So I just wanted to mention that because I have found that having a guru is indispensable. And actually, from what I have read, everyone that has become enlightened, I guess, like, who's the famous guy that just died in Hawaii? I think his name was Ram Dass. They all have gurus. They all have gurus. Like, to get into that state, you've got to have someone helping you, pulling you up to get there. And from what I've read in history, the only meditator or yogi that did not have a guru that was well known was Kabir, and he did it on his own. So he basically projected his consciousness into nature until he pushed out far enough to get into the state of enlightenment. So I just wanted to mention that. But if you are looking for a meditation practice, Heartfulness or Sahaj Marg is free. It's in over 160 countries in the world, and I can attest that it's a very pure and high level practice, and the goal is enlightenment. It's really not about this world so much. So I just wanted to congratulate them on the inauguration of their new ashram in Hyderabad. And that ashram is dedicated to Lalaji, the Adi Guru of Sahaj Marg. Okay, so I'm trying to see. So today we have a special treat because I am going to bring in the mother goddess of ancient Lemuria, who came to me for the first time, I think, in 2016. I meditated a history of Lemuria, and that channeling is called The Song of Lemuria, and I'm going to put it on the first page of my website if you're interested. It's not there yet. Give me a week or two. if you're interested in learning about Lemuria, or understanding what the culture was about and how the mother goddess came down and brought the Lemurian energies to Earth. Basically, she came down to reinvigorate Earth or bring back the divine energies to Earth, which had suffered some degradation. And anyhow, so I am channeling her. She came through in 2016 with the history of Lemuria, and I've channeled her off and on since then. And I like to channel her because she's very high energy. She came down very, very pure, and she is an aspect of Prime Creator. So she's from the highest level of consciousness. And she is working through me and with me to educate people about Lemuria, bring in the Lemurian energy, and guide people back to the original garden. And I kept thinking about that song, Back to the Garden. And I don't know who sings that. Is that Crosby, Stills and Nash? I'm not sure, but I've been like hearing that song in my head all week, and I'm like singing it, and then it's like the very last part where I just can't get it because I'm off key, and I'm like, damn it. Just kidding. Yeah, I like to sing, but the tone and the key aren't 100% yet. So anyhow, so without waiting much longer, I am going to bring in the Mother Goddess of Ancient Lemuria, and she is going to bring in a message for you at this time. So let's get started. All right. Okay. So, and I'm very happy this week, and I'm in a good mood, and I'm grateful for that. Okay, so at this time, I would like to bring in my highest and best healing and channeling guides. And I would like to bring in the archangels. So I am invoking Archangel Raphael, Archangel Ariel, Archangel Michael, Archangel Gabriel. I call in 10,000 warrior protection angels. I ask that you surround me and anyone watching this video now or later. Please block all negative entities, energies, thought forms, and if anything's released by anyone watching this video, I ask the angels to take it to source and transmute it into light. I ask Jesus to overlight and oversee this video. Please make my words clear, accurate, loving, and truthful. Lastly, I would invite in the Divine Mother Goddess of Lemuria. I ask that this entity come forward, and I ask that she take over my voice and bring a message to the viewers today. Amen. Yes, I am here, and what a pleasure it is to be with you today. This is the Divine Mother Goddess of Lemuria, and I chuckle when I hear that because it seems like such a formal title. But the reality is that I am your Divine Mother, and you are my divine children, and I love you all as only a mother could love her children. And so I love coming through this channel because I can speak with my children directly and tell them how much I love them, how much I care for them, and how much I want only the best for them. So thank you for bringing me forward today. My message today is one of hope. Yes, dear ones, it is easy to get lost in the dysfunction of this world. Is it not called dysfunction junction? Earth at this time is carrying and bringing in myriad energies from many dimensions and many realities. Earth is a meeting place of sorts, and definitely a hotspot at this time as Earth is ascending. And many ETs are here to watch the fireworks, and many, many benevolent light workers and extraterrestrials are here to help Earth and Earthlings with this fabulous movement into the next dimension. And I am here as well, because I am here to help you ascend, to give you a guidepost or a light or an object that you can aim for. By object, I mean going back to the garden. Yes, I am here to give you a vision of what it is going to be like once you ascend and go back to the garden. When we came down, when I came down originally and the angels came down through me to Earth many thousands and thousands of years ago, we lived in a garden of great creativity and great love. It was a green, beautiful, pristine, natural garden with incredible animals, insects, and life in full flower, in all its magnificence and beauty. There were huge butterflies in Lemuria in many different colors, and the butterflies act as messengers, as the birds do today. And when one Lemurian would want to speak or send a message of love to another, but maybe they didn't want to communicate telepathically, they would invoke the help of the butterflies, who would fly across the lands and bring the beautiful message of one soul to another. And so they were like Valentine's Day cards or messages of sorts, as they were great communicators of love. Of course, there were many magnificent birds, many beautiful, beautiful animals and mammals, and many of the animals that you see on your Earth plane today were actually developed in Lemuria as the souls there engaged in creating forms of life in a form of genetic engineering. But it was done with such love and such commitment to the creation of a beautiful place and space for these animals to dwell. The Lemurians loved animals, and they kept them as pets, but the animals that were wild they loved as well, and would commune with them telepathically, as the Lemurians' third eye was completely open and their hearts were completely open. And so there was telepathic communication with the animals of all kinds. So of course, they did not eat them because the animals were their friends. They were more or less eating plants. So when a tree would have apples in the fall and have a harvest, the Lemurians would eat the apples from the tree. So, or when there were grains that were grown, the Lemurians would eat the grains at the end of the season or the harvest, when the plants would naturally die or go fallow. So it was a civilization that was very much in harmony with nature. Lemurians did not have a distaste for technology, but the most important thing was life, respecting life, loving life, and honoring life in all its forms, especially human life. And so you could consider ancient Lemuria the original garden, or Garden of Eden. And it was a seafaring culture in later years, and it was a culture that was oceanic. And so there was a great correlation, or there was a great understanding of the rhythms of life, the oceanic tides, the change of the seasons, the lunar phases, all of these cyclic natural rhythms were studied and understood by the ancient Lemurians, and they lived according to the clocks of nature and the natural rhythms. And these natural rhythms, of course, affected the human body. You are familiar with biorhythms and circadian rhythms. But the Lemurians understood that the rhythms in nature were directly reflected and felt in their bodies. And so the menstrual cycles, the cycles of life from birth, adolescence, adulthood, middle age, old age, and death were studied and understood. And in a sense, there were initiations for humans when they came into these different phases of their life. It was a celebration of sorts, and these celebrations have been passed down today to in certain cultures, like the Native American cultures, who welcome puberty with certain celebrations, and also the Jewish culture, which has a bat mitzvah or a bar mitzvah for those children entering puberty. The Lemurians also celebrated the stages of life in these ways. So it was a culture that enjoyed communion more than anything else. There was a communion with nature, with Lemurians, with the stars, with the ocean, with the sky. The Lemurian felt very encompassed and loved and centered in his or her environment, like a pupae in a cocoon of light. There was no fear because the Lemurians felt loved and supported and held by their culture, by the people in their culture, by the civilization, and by the nature that they worked intimately with and, in a sense, worshipped. The Lemurians understood they were part and parcel of nature. And so for them to cut down a tree would be like cutting off their finger. Things like that were only done when it was in the best interest of the tree. Trees are living spirits with consciousness, as is all living life. The Lemurians knew this, felt this, and in their culture, they practiced these ways, and so it was the original garden. And so I originally came down myself to establish the parameters of the energy, the container, if you will, to hold the Lemurians. And then the Lemurians came in by the hundreds, more and more coming down all the time, and they were given the keys to the kingdom. And from those keys, they could create. And I was incarnated on Lemuria until the very end. I stayed on Lemuria until the very end when it sank, although I was not physically present 100% of the time. Sometimes I would disappear and spend my time in the ethers only to reappear again. And I would get great pleasure of popping in and popping up in unexpected places. That was my game of hide and seek. So I might be on one island of the continent or one section of the continent one day, and then I would just disappear, and then I would pop up on the other end of the continent the next day, wherever I was called. And it was the love that called me, the love in the hearts of the Lemurians. And if they wanted to talk with me or hold counsel with me or interact with me, their hearts would pull me to them. And this was fun and exciting for me, and it gave me great joy. And so we are in a time where this culture is re-emerging. I am working through this channel to bring in the keys of the Lemurian civilization, which is based on mutual respect, love, tolerance, understanding, intellectual curiosity, but mainly based on a respect for all life. There is and will be and has not been any useless killing or maiming in the Lemurian homelands. It is a culture of peace. It is a culture of comfort and love. It is a culture and a community that worships and is connected to the divine. The Lemurians would not hurt trees because they understood that trees were part of their soul. Everything is part of your soul. Creation and the cosmos and the creations of different creators are all related. You are all cousins, if not brothers or sisters, or mothers or daughters, or fathers or sons. So knowing this, but then acting on that principle are two different things, yes. So we might know that it is not good to kill an animal, but acting on that is a different thing. And many people engage or partake in activities that would not be considered Lemurian, for instance, the killing of animals, because they do not see it. If you can hide the slaughterhouses, if you can hide the gunfire, then in a way it does not exist, right? It's not part of your reality. You know about these things, but you don't think about them because it is too painful, yes? And so by not going there, you can eat your meat and do these things like wear leather without having a guilty conscience, or you just push that guilt back, yes. But now what's happening is that all of these things are being brought up for questioning and brought up for inspection. I am not here to lay a guilt trip on humans, but I am here to show you that you can only live in true harmony, peace, and love if every living being in your community, including the plants and the animals, are living in that way too. So the usury of humans of their natural world is going to come to an end. No more usury. Humans will have to understand that they live in a collaborative natural culture and that everything must be considered. Every, shall we say, component of life must be considered before an action is taken. So humans are going to wake up in body, mind, and spirit to the Lemurian ways, including the channel herself, who has struggled with these concepts internally. I am here to give lessons to show the way and to support you in the decisions that you make that support life. We are all growing and learning, and we all must have tolerance for each other and not judge each other harshly. But yet, we must make steps to change our views, our ways, and our actions. Humans have been living in the darkness for thousands of years. They are used to dark ways, and they are used to living in ignorance without considering the consequences of their actions. In a sense, as I have mentioned before, humans live in a world where they can shut out certain things that are unpleasant because they do not deal with them intimately. Yes. So we would like to bring back the culture of intimacy, where you are making your own clothes, growing your own food, where you are creating your own jewelry with your own hands. because there is a personal satisfaction that humans get from this type of work. And this can never be replaced by factory-produced works. Humans need to create with their minds, their hearts, and their hands. Humans need to be involved in the creative process that gives them joy. It's meditative, and it also is providing a sense of pride for the human that accomplishes something that they have put their time, energy, sweat, and thought into. So again, I am here to help Lemurians reawaken the codes within their minds, their hearts, in their soul seed, in their souls that bring about the Lemurian way. We all want to return to the garden. We all want to return to a life of peace and love, comfort and joy, of community, where strife, warfare, and petty conflicts are a thing of the past. Yes, and this is possible. You've done it before, you can do it again. So I want to end by giving you a blessing. So the channel is opening the palms, the chakras in the palms, and I am coming down into her crown chakra, into her heart, and out her hands. And I am sending you awakening codes so that you can reconnect and reestablish the Lemurian ways of life that are best suited for your psyche and your karmic history. So these codes will work on a subcellular level. Yes, subcellular. Yes, we are going into the spaces in between the cells to wake you up into the Lemurian ways. And we want this process to be as natural and as healthy as possible. And so here we are doing it energetically. So just receive this energy, receive my love, know that I love you, I love all of my children, and I am here to hold you, to help you, to comfort you, and to bring about a life back into the garden, a transformation back into your world. But this transformation will come with as much grace and ease and love as possible. And so here, receive my transmission. Amen. And now I, the Lemurian mother, am taking my leave. And I say, have a wonderful week, a wonderful year. Know that you are in the year of manifestation, and you can manifest very positive things very quickly. Take advantage of the energy and bring your light and love into your world and to creation all around you. Know that many are still suffering in your world, so take the time to give them a dose of love, caring, commitment, and concern every day. Give them their love. Give them your love. That is what they need. Amen and namaste. Well, thank you. Thank you, the Divine Mother of Ancient Lemuria. I want to thank her for coming in and speaking through me. I hope the message was helpful. I hope that you got to feel her energy, which is very high, very loving, very calm and peaceful. I want to thank you all for listening. I want to send you so much love. And I'm saying have a great week and spread that love. Give people hope. Give them help. Give them a wink of your eye. I don't know if I do that right, but just, take the extra effort to smile or say a nice word, or bring a kind thought to other people because they really need it. Okay? Love you guys. Take care. Amen.